Hi and welcome to Double Tap on YouTube. On our debut episode, we spoke all about Microsoft's new Inclusive Tech Lab. And in this video, you'll meet Solomon Romny, Microsoft's Accessibility Program Manager for the lab, as he walks us through everything it has to offer. Enjoy the clip and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already.
You're watching Double Tap TV.
Welcome back to Double Tap TV. Now, it was announced earlier this year that Microsoft will be continuing their commitment to making more products and services accessible to the disability community. And they showcased it with two really big announcements. The first of which was a new adaptive accessory that would help disabled people find new ways to use a keyboard and a mouse. Now, this of course follows on from the success, Stephen, of the Xbox Adaptive Controller and the kit.
And we'll talk all about that shortly, Mark. But the other big announcement was the news that they've built a physical new home to breed this kind of innovation. And it's called the Inclusive Tech Lab. Now, with us now to tell us all about it is one of the key people involved in its creation. That is Solomon Romny, the Accessibility Program Manager for the Inclusive Tech Lab at Microsoft. Solomon, great to have you here. So tell us, and it seems the most obvious question to start with, what is the Inclusive Tech Lab?
So the Inclusive Tech Lab started in 2017. It was originally an Xbox hardware lab that was founded to really help drive production of the Xbox Adaptive Controller. And so it serves in a lot of different capacities. It's an inclusive design hub where we incubate and develop and support the development of accessible technology, whether that's purpose-built accessories like the adaptive controller or whether it's in our mainline products. It's also a space for people with disabilities, not about them. So we really consider it an embassy for people with disabilities on the Microsoft campus. And that's our North Star. Everything we do is in service to the disability community. So the space is where we bring together members of the community with our product making teams so that we can really understand the needs of who we are designing with. And we take a very collaborative approach to product making. And the lab is not just the physical space where we do this, but the entire inclusive design practice that we've built in Microsoft hardware.
Okay, so what has changed then? It's expansion we're talking about here, right? I mean, you started off in the gaming world. Now you're working on lots of different projects, lots of different new ideas.
Yeah, the big news is, as you said, Stephen, the expansion. We've got a shiny new facility, a new, bigger, better lab that we officially launched a couple days ago. And it's just been a great process over the last 3 years getting that designed up, as our mandate has grown as well. You're absolutely right. We started in gaming, but we now encompass all of Microsoft's hardware, our main Surface products, our accessories, our third-party design for Surface partners, our OEM partners, Dell and Lenovo and Logitech and all of that, because we really view it holistically. So our space has expanded, as has our program. So we cover, and that's just hardware. We're not even talking yet about all the software support with Windows and Office and learning tools and everything else. The lab is really where we bring together the best of accessibility for Microsoft and all of our external partners as well. Because what we found is people don't use assistive tech one at a time. They use them in layers. And so having a place where we can really explore the interactions of those technologies and how they work or don't work to help fill gaps in the disability divide is what we try to do.
Solomon, there was a phrase during the Ability Summit 2022, and it was one size fits all. And we really like that phrase here because, life has changed. And I think understanding of life and that understanding of individuals comes out more. And Microsoft really, really kind of pushes that narrative. Everyone benefits when a product is accessible, right?
Correct. Yeah, we have a number of inclusive design principles, and the one that I think really fits with this is our design for one and extend to many. So we design for the extreme edge use cases, and then we extend that into more typical usage. And you're absolutely right. It's the curb cuts effect, that if we can make products more accessible, they don't just benefit people with disabilities, they do benefit everyone. And so if we, for the adaptive controller, it really was about choice. For the Surface Adaptive Kit, it's about choice. It's about giving people options. The accessible accessories are about choice. And what we're finding is that users with disabilities are power users. It's the same tool set, it's the same desire. So giving people choice, giving people options makes it better for everybody. My Chris Hunter and Dave Dame, Dave, you've interviewed Dave. They like to talk about how rising tides float all boats with accessibility, and that it's not a competition. So that's true with the entire market. Is as we all make things more accessible, everyone benefits.
It's interesting to hear you mention that you work with partners. I'm thinking of companies like Dell, HP, Lenovo, and so on. How do you work with them, actually? How do you make sure their products are being produced to be accessible?
It's more, I think, about sharing the inclusive design philosophy. And, we're still exploring how best to interact on a broader scale with those types of partners in terms of, is it do we teach them how to do inclusive design sprints? Do we partner with them to co-develop products? Do we release, publicly different inclusive standards that we've developed internally? There's a lot of different, potential avenues we could take to partner with that. And because those are in development, I won't, can't give too many details, but it is a new space we're exploring, and we know that the lab itself is going to be key to those discussions as we bring people in to learn about the process and the products and things like that. It's where we will have that. It provides a sort of a hub to tie all of that together. And so it's new. We have found great success with our Design for Surface partners who make accessories generally. One of the, we have had a great working relationship with JC Pal, who made that high contrast tactile keyboard cover for our smaller laptop devices. And that was a really nice collaborative effort with them to sort of talk about, packaging design and images and tactile affordances and all of that sort of stuff. So, we're still new in a lot of those steps, but we found people to be very receptive. We hosted PlayStation and Nintendo both in the lab when the adaptive controller came out to talk about ways we could potentially work with them to develop controllers of their own.
Yeah, I love hearing that. We all know you guys are in competition with Apple and Google and others, but surely when it comes to accessibility, it should be a place for unity. If PlayStation, for example, comes out with their own accessible controller, then everyone wins, right?
Right. Yeah, it's about increasing access for people and meeting them where they are. I remember when we announced a couple of years back that Google and Apple and Microsoft had co-developed the Braille input language to be universal across all three platforms. And that was huge, that we had been willing to put things aside to make a standard that was just better for end users across the board. I remember being at conferences with Google and Apple execs and all of us working together to make everybody's accessible tech work well, for demos and things like that. It was really sort of a magical moment using Apple hardware to help Google conduct their demonstration. It was really a wonderful moment of going, accessibility is bigger than all of us.
Indeed. Solomon Romny, thank you so much for coming on to Double Tap TV, and good luck with the Inclusive Tech Lab.
Always a delight to talk with you, Stephen. Excited to hear more about what you're doing in the future as well, so we'll keep an eye out.
But wait, Mark, there's more.
Yes, there sure is. On the way next, to hear all about the new adaptive accessories that were announced earlier this year at Microsoft's Ability Summit and that are going to be coming out soon is Gabby Michelle. She joins us from Microsoft next, so don't go anywhere. This is Double Tap TV.
Can't get enough Double Tap TV? Subscribe to the podcast and get your fill of Double Tap every day. Visit doubletaponair.com and follow us now. Double Tap TV will be right back.
Hey, thanks for watching. For more great content from Double Tap TV, subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on AMI TV. Thanks for watching.